Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. I'm not gonna lie, this is about the 10th time I'm recording this because I keep messing up, man. I keep messing up simple things. But Mark Goldbridge, United Stan, had an interview with Christian Falk and it was actually very value-packed. So I'll leave a link in the video description for that or in the comments, wherever I leave it. Go check out that video before or after you watch this. But it had a lot of things to do with Bayern and I'm actually happy Goldbridge asked him a question about Bayern. So let's clap. The pink boot! It's the pink boot, bro! It's the bloody pink boot! Nah, seriously, he had a lot to say, and in relation to Thiago as well, Falk had a lot to say. And Klopp actually also came out a few hours ago and talked about Thiago, or not Thiago, Liverpool's transfer situation. A lot of Liverpool fans are interpreting that as, this is another Timo Werner. Mate, this is another Timo Werner. We can't afford anyone. FSG out. We don't want you in our club. You want us a Champions League. You built our club, but we want you out. That's basically what Liverpool fans sound like. You sound like a kid who's freaking annoyed that they didn't get the toy that they were promised, but they have 50 billion toys. You have a Champions League, man. Stop complaining. Seriously, Klopp says he's happy with his squad 100%. Coronavirus came through and changed the situation financially, and every club's financial condition was not the same it was before the virus hit. And it also says it's not that Liverpool don't want to improve on a transfer basis, but he's saying that they want to do what's best and what they're able to do. What is Liverpool able to do? Were they able to afford Timo Werner? That would be no. So now a lot of people, a lot of Liverpool fans more specifically, are kind of questioning, can we actually afford Thiago? If Bayern are demanding 40 million, Liverpool is trying to pay 20 million, God, man, how broke you gotta be. So it's another situation where it's like, we can, but can we? So that's where it's at. But seriously, Falk said that Liverpool could lose Werner because of the money and lose Thiago, not Werner. We know they lost Werner because of the money, but they could lose Thiago like they did with Werner because of the money. Liverpool losing Thiago wouldn't actually be because Thiago doesn't want to join. Maybe Thiago does want to join, but we don't actually know that because actually what Falk also said was that the Thiago to Liverpool rumors only really arose because of his teammates, the dressing room atmosphere, that he was going to Liverpool to join Klopp. But we don't actually know. Thiago hasn't really said anything like, I'm keeping my options open. The only thing we know is that for a fact, Thiago was one step away from signing a contract with Bayern Munich. He went into the boardroom. I'm not sure. This is how I think it. He said to the board, I don't want to sign it. And he gave them no reason. He didn't say where I'm going next and the Bayern bosses are waiting for the offer to come in. So we have a situation where a player is potentially moving, but we don't know where they're moving to. And the club they're being linked to can't actually afford him. So I don't get it. That's like a guy asking out a girl, babes, come to me. Let's go on a date. But then he doesn't have the money to actually pay for taking her on a date, and I just don't understand. So that's the situation. Why would Thiago want to go out with Liverpool if Liverpool can't afford him? Very confusing. So I'm very hopeful that maybe Thiago was like, you know what, I didn't get paid enough money. Let me just link myself to Liverpool, who sound like a good option for me. Let me just link myself to them, and then they can offer me a new contract with improved wages, and I can stay and retire here. Because Thiago over the last few years has been talking about staying and retiring at Bayern because he loves the club and the city and everything. His wife is always talking about how they're comfortable. How is your wife comfortable with Munich? Actually, women are bipolar. They change like that. Ooh, like the temperature in my state. Hot, cold. It's moving crazy. So seriously, maybe that's the situation. What if Thiago's wife is bored in Munich and she wants to move somewhere else? What if Coutinho is the one who convinced Thiago to go? I don't think it's the case. If it is though, Coutinho deserves the death penalty. How is he coming to our club? Wasting 40 million this season alone and then convincing one of our good midfielders to leave. That would piss me off. If that's true, I would actually want to kill Coutinho. If the freaking gun laws were in the UK, I would kill him. I would pull up with my Second Amendment right. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, y'all gonna die. Seriously. Coutinho, man. What a useless baller. Seriously. Also, what do you all think, man? I don't know. I'm not sure. This is exactly where I'm at. A lot of Liverpool fans DMing me, messages, trying to ask me, is Thiago moving to Liverpool? I know just as much as you. I'm only speculating from a Bayern perspective. I want him to stay. So obviously, whenever any story comes out, like the Jurgen Klopp quotes, what if Klopp just means they can't spend as much money as they wanted? Or what if he means they can't buy 3 players, but only 1? What if that's what Klopp means? But in my perspective, I interpret that as he ain't come to you. And when he does, I'll look stupid. Fine, cool. But he also talked about more Christian Falk. He talked about how Bayern can't afford Kai Havertz this summer. Same in Real Madrid. I think it was April. Goldbridge asked him about the poker table and that Chelsea are the only ones that get a free route at Kai Havertz now. And that's it. That's the situation. Back when the world wasn't crap, back when Bayern had money, remember, I think Bild reported that Bayern had a war chest of 250 million to spend and to try and rebuild and get back to just having a good squad and good squad depth. Upamecano was part of that. We had a few players like Sergino Dest in that. We were also linked to Hakimi constantly. We were linked to so many players, and then the pandemic hit. And then I didn't think the club realized just how much financial debt was put into the club because of the virus. So then the club was like, yeah, what can we do? And then they started seeing how it could be used to be positive with the Sané deal. And then they got Sané for a much cheaper price than normal. And then they realized, oh, we can't actually afford Havertz because 100 million in a crisis like this could actually put a dent in our pocket long term. And maybe they didn't see the long term in spending the money now. It's not exactly clear what Bayern, thought or think now before that. I don't know. It's just a really conflicting thing. Also, Falk said Bayern are monitoring Upamecano. Remember a couple months ago where it was pretty much certain that Upamecano was joining Bayern? I thought it was happening. But there was a situation where Bayern were trying to negotiate down his release clause. Leipzig didn't want to budge. They would have rather lost him for free. So what happened was Bayern wanted to wait for Upamecano to try and get Leipzig to lower it. Leipzig did not lower their release clause. And then a few days later, Upamecano was apparently ready to sign a new contract. Falk said Upamecano is likely to sign a new contract. But what he also said was that Bayern are looking at Upamecano. They brought Tanguy Kausi in because they didn't get Upamecano. That's what he said. Not exactly word for word, but that's what I got from what he said. But he also said that. So that means that Bayern is still looking at Upamecano. So he said Bayern will wait and see how Tanguy Kausi fits and how Upamecano's situation is a year from now. So if Tanguy Kausi comes into our team and is doing well, then Bayern won't go for Upamecano. But he also said Boateng could leave and that could open up a door for another center back. Because if Boateng leaves, we need another center back. We can't just rely on 3 center backs if Alba wants to move to the midfield. So he said that Bayern are looking at Upamecano, monitoring the situation, not necessarily saying you're coming to us next year like we would be doing with Havertz if he stayed. We're actually just monitoring and making sure that there's an opportunity for us if there is one presenting itself. And then last but not least, he talked about Kai Havertz, which made sense to me. Bayern are looking for a player like Kai Havertz if possible. If possible probably means if Bayern sell or something. And he also talked about Tolisso. He said that Bayern Munich would not sell Tolisso if Thiago goes and Javi Martinez leaves. There's so much news to be unpacking every single day when it comes to Bayern. There's so much. Seriously, a player like Kai Havertz, I want to know what you think about that. What are your players like Kai Havertz? Because for me, there's only one player like Kai Havertz, and that would be Kai Havertz himself. He said that Bayern are looking for a cheap player like Kai Havertz. A lot of people are saying Dominic Schabel, whatever his name is. I don't exactly know about him. Bayern haven't been linked to him. Maybe Bayern aren't looking for him, or maybe he's not necessarily looking for Bayern specifically. Bayern are maybe looking for a player that can fill in at right wing, maybe striker. So Kai Havertz, like Kai Havertz, maybe left-footed as well. You never know. I don't think left-footed is going to mean anything. So who do you think that player should be or is the cheaper option from Kai Havertz? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because Bayern have spent a lot of money just in the last year alone bringing in Coutinho and Perisic. Combining them, we've spent about maybe 35 million. No, 40 million on Coutinho because his wages and then his loan fee. Oh, a lot of money. And then his injuries, we've had to pay for those. So he's using us. He's walking in Munich. We're paying for everything, seriously. So we're paying Coutinho, or everything Coutinho's costed has been 40 million. Perisic, 20 million or so. So in 1 year alone. So for me, I'm just thinking to myself, man, If we're spending 60 million on these two no average ballers, why, first of all, but if we're spending that much money on these players, then surely we can spend money on someone like Kai Havertz. So we could have spent money on Kai Havertz, but we didn't. And that's the situation we have now. We only brought Coutinho and Perisic in because we didn't get Sané last season because he got the injury in a useless, glorified, cup-friendly final. That was annoying. So we got Coutinho and Perisic to fill in, and let's wait for Sané for next year. We didn't get him in January. We got Drizola. So we have a lot of departures. He didn't talk about a right back. I don't think there was enough time to. But there's things that I'm actually looking at and saying, you know what? I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what happens with Bayern. Waiting to see what happens with Thiago. He didn't actually say Thiago's leaving for sure for Liverpool. He didn't say it. He didn't say, oh, Thiago's leaving. All he said was there were rumors. And, you never know. What do you make of that, guys? What do you think about that? What does he mean by just the things he said? Go watch the video for yourself. But look, just relax. This is what I said. Relax, everyone. Bayern know what they're doing. We're not stupid. Our board are getting paid actual money to make decisions that we, our fans, can't really be making for ourselves sometimes. We don't even know what player we want. Our board will be making those decisions. The scouts will be making those decisions. If our scouts find a player like Kai Havertz, then dang, that would be crazy. I would actually be very surprised if we got a player for like 20 million and they almost replicated what Havertz has been doing. I don't know. I just think that Kai Havertz fits us so well because he's basically a regen of Thomas Müller with the same intelligence. They pick up the exact same positions on the pitch, except Müller is just less technically gifted and has more intelligence. And that's it. They just have so much similarity between those two players, and I just want them to play. They could play in the same team as well. Imagine two intelligent players right next to each other like that. Coman's weird sometimes. Imagine Havertz and Müller thinking on the same wavelength. You know, kind of like how radio waves are. They're thinking on the same. Oh, that would be amazing. But look, we can obviously always speculate. Not every transfer story is real. But I think Thiago could stay at Bayern if it makes sense. Maybe Thiago just wants more money. Like I said, maybe he's just like, you know what? I underpaid myself or underappreciated or undervalued myself when they were negotiating the contracts. So he was like, let me just link myself to Liverpool. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But make of this what you do because, well, it's always about speculation, isn't it? We always are going to speculate. We're never really just going to make our minds up. I hope Thiago stays. I do. I'm not going to be like, oh, so Thiago, he's a terrible influence in the dressing room. I'm not that guy. I want us to sign players that want to be here, but also players that just, need something else to stay. Like Alaba, just give him more money, some people would say. But then some people would argue, well, has he earned it? Is he worth 20 million a year? I'd say, you know what, look, Brad Pitt is making a lot of money. How many shirts does Brad Pitt sell? Do you think Brad Pitt specifically actually sells things like that? Do you think that's what happens? Is he selling the movie? Because if a movie's crap and Brad Pitt is in it, he makes his 40 million, 50 million from that movie. He makes his 30 million, and then he's off, and then he's out. It's not his problem. Now the studios have to pay for what they've done. They have to pay for all the things. But Brad Pitt, yeah, he made his money, and he makes that in a year, and they shoot a few movies. And look, actors are worth a lot of money, man. So why can't footballers who actually sell things? Alaba sells shirts. People buy Alaba shirts. People are fans of Alaba. You can tell he has a social media presence for Bayern. So it's very important for us to be very careful when we're talking about Alaba, like he's some fringe player that sits on our bench. Alphonso Davies is no. If you sell a player like a Goretzka, it won't be as maybe financially denting, but if you sell an Alaba, that's where you have a problem. But thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope this was very informative. Go watch the interview for yourself. I mean, I'm still thinking and trying to digest a lot of what I heard. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia san mia and peace.